एक सही दिशा में हल्का सा पुश, सो दैट योर जीत इज पक्की। बिल्कुल इसीलिए हम लेकर आए हैं खास आपके लिए इन्फिनिटी लर्न जेईई एडवांस्ड क्रैश कोर्स। जेईई एडवांस्ड क्रैश कोर्स में आपको मिलती है 120 घंटे की लाइव क्लासेस, एक्सपर्ट फैकल्टी एंड डाउट क्लियरेंस, और भी कमाल कमाल के फीचर्स। और जैसे कई सारे क्रैश कोर्सेज में होता है ना, 100 बच्चों के बैचेस, नहीं नहीं नहीं, हम ऐसा नहीं करने वाले, क्योंकि हम देना चाहते हैं आपको पर्सनलाइज्ड लर्निंग एक्सपीरियंस, जहां आपको मिलेगी आपके हर वीक टॉपिक पे हेल्प और आपके हर सवाल का जवाब। इतना ही नहीं, आपको मिलता है श्री चैतन्य का कॉम्पिटिटिव एनवायरनमेंट। जी हां, वही श्री चैतन्य जहां है 38 सालों की लेगेसी ऑफ प्रिपेयरिंग चैंपियंस। डू यू नो दैट 21% ऑफ IITians आर फ्रॉम श्री चैतन्य। यही नहीं, जेईई एडवांस क्रैश कोर्स में सिखाते हैं खुद IITians, जिससे आपको मिलेगी सही गाइडेंस फ्रॉम द पीपल who have cleared the exam in the past। अब इतने सारे रीजंस दे दिए, इतने सारे फीचर्स बता दिए, अब तो वेट मत करो, आज ही रजिस्टर करो, क्योंकि बैचेस स्टार्ट हो रहे हैं 17 अप्रैल से। एनरोल नाउ फॉर इन्फिनिटी लर्न जेईई एडवांस क्रैश कोर्स एंड करो आपकी जीत पक्की।
लाइव है? Hello students, welcome to the session। आज थोड़ा सा लेट हो गया because we have not yet got all the questions yet, लेकिन जैसे जैसे as and when we are getting them, we are coming to you with those questions। The maths and chemistry questions are coming in as well, but so far I've got a physics question, so I'll start off with that। By the way, this is the ongoing series that we're doing. Every paper shift is being discussed on this channel, solving the questions. Our team of Sri Chaitanya is out there collecting the questions for you. You see, I get these handwritten questions over here. At the end of the exam, all the students of Sri Chaitanya provide these questions themselves. We'll do this because based on what we are seeing so far in the JEE, so far we have had a number of shifts. We are seeing that a similar pattern or even similar questions are being repeated. So before I start, I'll just talk about that a bit, because some questions are being repeated with just a slight change in values. So these sessions become incredibly important for all of you. Okay, just a moment sir, wo comment wala khol dena wahan pe chat section. So the second thing is, we have also seen that so far there has been a slight increase in the paper standard over the coming shifts. The first shift was very easy. First 2 to 3 shifts were very easy, but now we are seeing that it's becoming a bit more standard. Now that doesn't mean it's become difficult by any means, but earlier ones were way too easy. This time it's at a decent level now, comparatively at a decent level. So I have received a few questions on physics, so I'll start off with that, and meanwhile most probably Akshay sir or Nitin sir would be coming in with more maths and chemistry questions. So let's start off with the first question that we have. So the first question here says that we have two satellites of masses m and 2m. Both have different masses. M and 2m are moving around the planet at a distance r. We can write it in a simple word, have the same orbital distance of r. So first off, try to picture what this is going to do. Try to picture what this is going to do. The question is an MCQ question. So here they have told you what remains same. What remains the same? The options are kinetic energy, you have potential energy, next up is the total energy, and lastly we have the speed of orbit. Now if you look at the formulas for each of them, you can directly understand which one is the correct answer, because in the formula for kinetic energy, it's a standard formula. Anything having kinetic energy will have a similar formula, that the kinetic energy is half mv square, where m was the mass of the object that is moving. So here, since they have different mass, the kinetic energy will not be the correct one, it will be different for the two masses. Next we look at the potential energy. Remember, they are moving the same distance away. So if this is our planet, this is the orbit, both the m and 2m are moving in the same orbital distance. So the potential energy formula P is given by Gmm by R. Again you see there is a dependence on the mass of the satellite, which means potential energy will also be different. Lastly, the total energy, you can see total energy is just kinetic plus potential energy. Both the kinetic energy and the potential energy depend on the mass. So even the total energy will depend on the mass. So this is also incorrect. So the only correct option is the speed. That is the correct option. Why? Because in the formula, the speed that is referred to here refers to the orbital speed. And the formula for orbital speed we know, VO is equal to root over of Gm by R, where you see it depends on the mass of the planet and this is R plus H, my bad. This is Gm by R. If we call this distance as R, Gm by R. For both of the masses, the mass of the planet is the same because it's the same planet, and also this radius of orbit is also the same. So speed remains same. That's right, Surya Vikas, Nikhil, Ayush, correct. The answer is speed. Good afternoon, Nikhil. Good afternoon to everyone else. Ayush, Surya, Praveen, all of you. Welcome to the session. Okay, let's look at the next question. This is the first one. Let's look at the next question that we have received. This one is of SHM, and this is a similar question to what we had in our Power Up series, which, by the way, if you students have not seen yet, check out the Power Up series that we had. Even if you don't want to go through the entire, I'll recommend you go through the solutions. But even if you don't want, in our Telegram group, you'll find each of those PDFs. You'll find each of the PDFs of the Power Up series. You can do it over there, because a lot of questions we are getting common from there. That was the predictor series for us. Okay, so over here we have an SHM. It is said that an SHM that starts from rest, so spring mass system, maybe it goes from this point to this point, at a certain displacement from the mean point x is equal to a by 2, where a is the amplitude of this SHM. At a point x is equal to a by 2, they have asked you for the ratio of potential energy to kinetic energy. PE is to KE. They want the ratio of potential is to kinetic energy. Now over here we don't need to bother too much. The reason being, this is starting from the central position. So it's just going to be sine of omega t. We don't need to bother too much whether it will be cos or not. So based on that, we can directly put the relations for potential and kinetic energy. Okay, the potential energy formula is half kx square, or you can also write it as m omega square x square, whatever you want, divided by the kinetic energy would be half into, you can have k a square minus x square. Okay, again if you put it as m omega square, you can replace k with m omega square as well. Then still the formula would remain the same. In the numerator and denominator would just be different. So first up we see these two cancel out. Your ratio is just x square divided by a square minus x square. If you put the values, you will get x square is a by 2, so a by 4, a square by 4, a square minus a square by 4, because again x square over there. So you have a square cancel, you will be having 1 by 4 into 3 by 4. Okay, oh my bad, it would be 4 by 3. Just a minute, this will be 1 by 4 into 4 by 3, because I'll get 3 by 4 here. So the 3 will stay in the denominator and 4 will go up, they cancel out, and the answer is 1:3. Okay, that's right, Nikhil, Ayush, correct answer. Hi Athar, welcome to the session. Okay, we have already solved 2 questions, Athar. We have a few more from physics and they are coming in. I have a couple more from physics and hopefully I'll get 2 more by the time I am done with these. But anyway, let's look at the next question now. This one says that we need to find, this is for the rotational motion, and we have been asked to find the ratio of kinetic energies. So let's do this. If you have any doubts, by the way, you can let me know. I'll discuss it in real time over here and solve your doubts. whether it be with any question or some concept you need a little help with, you can ask it here and I'll answer those questions. Okay, this one is for rolling. So this is the case of a rolling, that a spherical shell undergoes, this is important, it's not a solid sphere, it's a spherical shell, undergoes pure rolling, will undergo pure rolling. So the question that they have asked you, find the ratio of the rotational kinetic energy to the total kinetic energy. Okay, and I think this is a numerical answer type because this has been given here as this is equal to x by 5. We need to find this value of x. So basically we need to solve over here, get the exact value, and then we can compare and see. So first up, what is the formula for the rotational kinetic energy? The rotational kinetic energy is given by Ke rotational is equal to half I omega square. Okay, what is the moment of inertia of a spherical shell? For a spherical shell, the moment of inertia is equal to 2 by 3 mr square. Because it's a spherical shell. If it was a solid sphere, it would have been 2 by 5 mr square. Okay, this is 2 by 3 mr square. We can put that in. We'll be getting 1 by 3 into mr square omega square. mr square omega square. The 2 by 3, the 2 in the numerator and denominator cancel out. You have 1 by 3 mr square omega square. Now let's look at what is, so we can even represent it in the form of the mv square because that will help us relate it to the total kinetic energy. That would be equal to 1 by 3 m into v square because r into omega is just v. So m into v square. So we have got the rotational kinetic energy. Next thing, what is the translational kinetic energy? The translational kinetic energy, Ke translational kinetic energy is equal to just half mv square. That's it. There is no nothing here with regards to the moment of inertia. It's just half mv square. So now let's do it over here. This will be equal to, the rotational is 1 by 3 mv square and the total is rotational plus translational, that is 1 by 3 mv square from the rotational plus 1 by 2 mv square from the translational. So up top you can cancel out the mv squares, these don't matter. You have 1 by 3 up top divided by, down below you have 6 here, the LCM would be 6 and the numerator would be 2 plus 3, 5. So if you shift it up, you would be getting 5 would stay down, you'd have 6 by 3, that will give you 2 by 5. So your x is equal to 2. Okay, that's right Nikhil, x is equal to 2. Fine. Okay, let's look at the next question now. This we have got, the 2 by 5. We have a few more questions coming in. Sir? I have one more, but I think 2 more have come. So 3 more questions. Okay. These were easy questions. These were all easy questions, not that difficult, formula based mostly. You just had to remember what was the formula for moment of inertia of a spherical shell. That was key. Okay, the next question that we have got here is for, just a moment. Yeah, the next question is of straight line motion, motion under gravity. In motion under gravity, they have said that you have a mass that is being projected up with a velocity of 150 meters per second. It's projected up with a velocity of 150 meters per second. It's said that the ratio of speed at 3 seconds and at 5 seconds, ratio of speeds at 3 seconds by 5 seconds is equal to x plus 1 by x. Again numerical answer type. This is again numerical answer type. So x plus 1 by x. So hi Amar, वेव से आया है सर. सो अमर अगर तुम्हारे पास उस वेव्स का क्वेश्चन है तो प्रोवाइड करो, क्योंकि मेरे पास राइट नाउ नहीं आया है, कलेक्ट कर रहा है हमारा टीम. सो ऑब्वियसली मेरे पास आएगा ओवर टाइम मोस्ट प्रोबेबली. अगर तुम्हारे पास अभी है So Amar, if you have given today's session or if you have the questions, do provide it. Chat में लिख के दो. I'll be solving it here right away. ठीक है? So by that time the questions that we have got उसको लेके deal करते हैं. So this is v3 is equal to x plus 1 by x. So simple, you don't even need to bother too much. Direct formula. It is starting over here. The formula for the velocity after 3 seconds, say it's at 3 seconds it reaches here, v3 is equal to the launch speed. The formula is u minus gt. U minus gt, because u is in that direction, g is in the opposite direction, it's u minus gt. So it will be 150 minus g is 10 into 3 seconds 3. So that will make it 120 meters per seconds. That is v3. Same way you can find v5. I'm not even calculating it. I know over here it would be 10 into 5, 50. So we have 150 minus 50, it would be 100 meters per second. Okay, so v3 by v5 is equal to 120 by 100. It's expected कि the speed will go down. Speed कमता रहेगा because ये जैसे ऊपर जा रहा है उसका speed धीरे धीरे कम रहा है. So that is why v5 is less than v3. Here you will get this as 6 by 5. 120 by 100 is 6 by 5. If you compare with this, you will get x is equal to 5 because 5 plus 1 6 divided by 5. यहाँ पे students थोड़ा गड़बड़ क्या कर सकते हैं, अगर तुमने previous shifts देखा है, if you have seen the previous shifts, then there was a question in projectile motion. I think yesterday's second shift only we had a question in projectile, second or first shift projectile motion, जहाँ पे same 3 second or 5 seconds दिया हुआ था. And you had to find that the speeds were given, the speeds were said to be equal, and you had to find the time it took, or I think overall how much time it took or something like that. तो वहाँ पे the thing was a little different. वहाँ पे different क्या था कि in that case it was said that the speeds were the same at the 2 points. ठीक है, और वहाँ पे projectile का peak जो हो रहा था, the peak of the projectile was at 4 seconds. So that is why we know 3 seconds and 5 seconds were symmetrically on either sides of the central position. But यहाँ पे that is not the case, because if you see the peak is not at 4 seconds, the peak will be far away. If you just try to calculate how what time you would have 150 divided by g, that is at after 15 seconds it would reach the top point. इसीलिए ये 3 और 5 में यहाँ पे कोई relation नहीं लग सकता. You would have to proceed with the regular method to proceed, and that is not a long process. Direct formula, you will get the answer. That's right, Nikhil. It was x is equal to 5. Okay, yes, it was yesterday. Yesterday, I think first shift. As far as I recall, I think it was in the first shift that we got, not the second shift. Okay, we have received a couple more questions, so let's solve this. Okay. Let's solve this question. This one has, we have been given the magnetic field. Magnetic field is given as 0.4 Tesla. Next, we have been given the radius of a coil. So the radius of coil is given as 2 centimeters. So that would be 0.02 meters. And we have been said that this radius is constantly changing. So if this radius constantly changes, it's changing at the rate of dr dt is equal to 0.1 millimeter per second. 0.1 millimeter per second, that is equal to, this also we can write as 2 into 10 to the power minus 2. Let's keep them in 10 to the powers because it's easier to work with. This will give you 10 to the power minus 4 meters per second. This is the speed with which the radius is changing. They've asked us to find the induced EMF. We want the induced EMF. Okay. Now over here, first picturize what is happening in this case. In this case, you have a constant magnetic field. You have a loop with a radius r in a constant magnetic field. Okay. You have a constant magnetic field in a specific region that you have a loop of radius r. But the problem is the radius is made smaller over time. So will there be a flux change in this, and why will there be a flux change? The magnetic field is not changing, but flux phi is equal to B into A. There is a cos theta also, but it's perpendicular, so I'm not dealing with that. B into A. Magnetic field is constant, but the area is changing because the radius is changing. If it is decreasing, increasing, whatever, that's not said to us. If it is changing, if the radius is changing, the area is changing. That is what will bring about the flux. What do we know to be the induced EMF? That is equal to d phi dt, that is equal to dBA dt. There is no n factor here, and I've also not put the negative sign. Negative sign is just to give the direction, and the n, the number of turns, is given as 1 turn, so we are not dealing with that as well. So dBA dt, B is constant, you can get that out. So B into d dt of, what is the area? The area of the circle would be pi r square, right? So when you differentiate this, r is variable but pi is a constant, so you get the pi out. B pi into r square, the d dt of r square would give you 2r dr dt, 2r into dr dt. Okay, so all the values are given to us over here. There's very little space, but anyway we'll try. We have 0.4 multiplied with pi into 2r, 2 into, so it's 4 into 10 to the power minus 2, 4 into 10 to the power, because 2r, so 2 into 2, 4 into 10 to the power minus 2, and dr dt is 10 to the power minus 4. So what do we get out of this? Have we been given any options? No, we have not been given any options. So if you equate this, you will get, I'm having to do it here. So you have just 4 into 4, 16, 1.6, 1.6 into pi, pi is 3.14, so 48, roughly around 50. I'm assuming it would go to roughly around 50. So 1.6 into 3 would take it to roughly around 5. I don't have the options, most probably you won't have to exactly calculate, you can do some approximate calculations over here and you would get it. So 5, there is a pi here. Nikhil, you missed out, you said 1600, but there is a pi here, you are missing out on that pi. So it would be roughly around 5 into, what are the powers? 10 to the power minus 6. 5 into 10 to the power minus 6 volts. Okay, is that clear? Nikhil, just let me know, is this clear or is there any doubt in this? Because there was a pi, the area was pi r square, so the pi had to come out as a constant. I think you missed that pi. That is why you got 4 into 4, 16. Okay. Hi Manasvi. Okay. Okay. No issues, Nikhil. You can keep answering the questions. There's no issue with being incorrect here as long as you're not interested in your JEE. Over here, this is a practice session, so you can take risks. If you're trying to solve it using a faster calculation method, go ahead, give it a shot over here. Okay. Chalo. Next up, okay, this one we solved. We have got a question. Okay, this is again a question we had in the Power Up series. We had this in the Power Up series itself, and it says that light of 12.5 electron volts, 12.5 electron volts are incident on ground state of hydrogen. Sorry, ground state of hydrogen. Okay, and you want to find the number of spectral lines emitted. The number of spectral lines emitted. Okay, so for this we have to first figure out this 12.5 electron volts. Why will spectral lines be emitted? When you put it over there, when you apply that energy, then it will excite the electrons from the ground state to a higher state. So if you do that, you have to first figure out what is the highest state that an electron can get excited to by this energy. So we know that 12.5 electron volts will be equal to 13.6 electron volts into 1 by n square, n1 square, n1 would just be 1 because it's starting from the ground state, 1 square minus 1 by n2 square. Okay. So over here, if we do, we have 12.5 by 36, 12.5 by 13.6, and you can do 1 minus of this, that is equal to 1 by n square. So up top you'll get 13.6 minus 12.5, that would be roughly 1.1 divided by 13.6 is equal to 1 by n square. So just take a rough calculation. Remember, you need to find the integer that is just lower than this. What this, like this is the integer value you need. Okay. So over here n square will be equal to, this is 13.6, my bad, 13.6 divided by 1.1. Now you can see n cannot be 4, because if n was 4, then this fraction would have to go to 16. That is not possible. So the possible value of n is that n will be equal to 3. N, the only possible value of n is equal to 3, because if n were 4, then it's becoming greater than this fraction. It cannot go there. Okay, so this will only be able to excite it to n is equal to 3. Now that is not the question yet. The question asks us to find the number of spectral lines. We have just found out where it gets excited to. It gets excited to n equal to 3. And the number of spectral lines, the formula is, the number of lines formula is equal to n into n minus 1 divided by 2. Because it gets jumped to that point, from that third point it can either come to the second can come to the first, it can come from third to the first, and so on. So this is just NC2. You have 3 states possible, you have to combine it, goes from one state to the other, so it will be NC2. So the formula is n into n minus 1 divided by 2. Put the values in, 3 into 3 minus 1, 2 divided by 2, cancel this out. So your number of spectral lines will be equal to 3. Okay? Yeah, that's right. Hello, the answer is 3 spectral lines. Okay, so I've got these questions as of now. I think Akshay sir is ready with more maths questions. Before we get started off with that, do like the session based on the questions. We are trying to, the entire team of Sri Chaitanya is trying to bring you the questions as quickly and as accurately as possible. So like this video and subscribe to the channel, because we'll still be coming in for each and every shift even after this.
Sir, how was the physics examination?
Physics paper is becoming standard now. Like it was too easy in the beginning shifts, but now it's roughly standard. Not too difficult, still easy, but at least it's getting to some level now.
And I can see there is a comment, sir, maths paper was the worst paper today. Maths was very tough. So yes, students, we can observe that the level of the mathematics portion has raised a lot. Not a little bit, it has raised a lot. From the previous shifts also, even in the last shift also, I was telling you that the level has been increased. From that shift also, if I compare, it is twice the level that has been asked in this particular shift. So there are many questions in the mathematics which many of the students were not able to do. They were highly calculative, they were highly conceptual, and some of the questions are even from those levels that can be asked in the JEE Advanced examination.
Was it also lengthy, sir?
Yeah, very, very lengthy. So I think a maths portion requires 2 hours of time instead of 1 hour to complete this, if a student knows how to deal with these questions. Okay, one of the student, Praveen, is posting the questions also near easy level of JEE Advanced. Yes, Sai Teja. So
here you go, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. So let us discuss few of the maths questions, and one of the questions has already been posted by Praveen. All right. Are you all able to hear me? Okay, thank you. Sir, what you recommend doing in that situation? Okay, so I always recommend start with the easy questions and then come to those questions which are quite of the moderate level, and then come to those questions which are of quite tough level. Okay, so in this way you need to do the questions in your JEE, because the time is limited. The time that you have is 1 hour, and in this 1 hour of time you need to do a maximum amount of questions. Okay, so do not spend time too much in one question, even if you know the answer also, but you think that it will take around 10 minutes to complete the solution. So do not do that questions which take your 10 minutes of time. Okay, because if you spend in one question you spend 10 minutes, that means it will take a lot of time of yours, which is to be given to the easy level questions which require less efforts in the less time. Okay, so maintain your time, like you need to take care of the time management also while giving while attempting the examination. This time management plays an important role. And the actually what the examiner or what the paper setters used to do, they frame one question in such a way that it consumes a lot of time. Most of the people, they get stuck in a one particular question, they do not move, and they are into intuition that, sir, it's about to be over, I was trying it. Many of the students have given me has shared me experiences also. Sir, I was trying the question number 2, I thought that I'll be able to complete it within 3 minutes. I tried, it's been 5 minutes, I haven't received the answer, but I know sir, I know the path how to achieve the answer. So I was trying, sir, it took around 8 minutes to complete the question. So if you are consuming 8 minutes of time to complete one question, so do not attempt such questions, because please try to attempt those questions first of all which requires your 2 or 3 minutes of time. If it is taking more than 2 or 3 minutes of time, please leave this question for the last, and in the last, if you have the time with you, so you can pick up these questions. Okay, so the best part is very students forget to actually look into this matter. Okay, so the best part is we need to work upon leaving the question. Okay, we need to work upon choosing the question, the very first thing, and the second thing is we need to work upon leaving the question, because we have an ideology in our mind that this question is about to over and I have spent 7 or 8 minutes of time, now I need to spend one more time and I'll be able to get the answer. So do not indulge into this habit. Okay, so as soon as 3 minutes of time is being over for the particular solution, leave that question and come to the next question. So this is the process that you need to follow. Is it going to be more tough tomorrow? Yes, Sai Teja, according to the trend that I can see that the level of the paper is being increasing, and today we have observed it is the maximum level of the JEE Mains that has been achieved. So according to me, beyond this level the paper won't come, but yes, it will match up with the paper level that is being asked today. So the very important point is you should prepare well for your JEE examination, who have their examination tomorrow or on 15th of April. Okay, moreover, we'll be helping you out to have the analysis of the morning shift as well as the evening shift of the upcoming dates also. But trust me, do not indulge in any question which requires 7 to 8 minutes of your time, because that will consume a lot amount of time, and definitely you will lose your confidence after consuming 8 or 10 minutes of time in one particular question. Okay, so yes, Sai Teja, I would suggest you to actually first of all pick up those questions that requires less effort, and there are always 6 or 7 questions in the examination, whatever be the level of the paper, always there are 6 and 7 questions in the mathematics that require less effort. So try to cover up 6 and 7 questions. See, if you are able to complete 7 questions in first 20 minutes, so 7 into 4, 28 marks. So 28 marks is with you in the first 15 minutes of your time. So that will really boost your confidence. Okay, so this is the strategy that you need to follow. Okay, I am very much scared. Do not get scared. Be confident. You have prepared well, but the strategy you need to think about. Do not spend. So maybe cutoff will be go less. Yes, for this shift, we can assume that the cutoff will be very less in comparison to the previous few shifts that we have observed over here. All right. So without wasting your time, I will be discussing the question number 1. The question number 1 is find the sum of first 50 coefficients in the expansion, and the expansion is given to you as 1 minus x raised to the power 100. So this is the expansion given to you, and you need to actually get the sum of first 50 coefficients. They're not asking you to get the sum of all the coefficients. They're asking you to get the sum of first 50 coefficients in the expansion of 1 minus x raised to the power 100. So basically, what is the concept that you will apply over here? So in this particular case, if I talk about the coefficients, or if I talk about the trend in the terms of this expansion, what is going on? So the first one is 100C0. Second one is 100C1 with a negative sign. Okay, I'm just talking about the coefficients. Okay, into x raised to the power 1. Then 100C2 into x raised to the power 2. Then 100C3 into x raised to the power 3. And it will keep on going, it will keep on going. The last term will be 100C100 into x raised to the power 100. So students, if I tell you that if I calculate the sum of coefficients, if I want the sum of all coefficients, I'm not talking about the 50 coefficients, but I'm talking about the sum of all coefficients. So I'll keep the value of x as 1. So if I keep the value of x as 1, I will be able to get the sum of all coefficients. In this case, sum of all coefficients will be 0. So 100C0, 100C1, 100C2, 100C3 with a negative sign, and so on. It will be, the last term will be 100C100. So the sum of all the coefficients over here will be 0. I hope you are able to understand how we got the result as 0. Now we only need to consider up till 50 terms. But before that, I may tell you one thing, that this 100C0 and this 100C100 both are identical. Can you observe that these two values will be same? If I talk about 100C, if I talk about 100C1 and if I talk about 100C99, okay, so both are having the same sign. This is also negative, this is also negative, and both will have the same value. So if I talk about adding the first 50 coefficients, okay, adding the first 50 coefficients, so I'm just considering the first 50 coefficients. It will be 100C0, then it will be 100C1, then it will be 100C2, then it will be 100C3, and it will keep on going up till 100C49, because I need to consider the first 50 coefficients. So I am making the double of it. I am making the double of it, and apart from this, there will be one coefficient, that is 100C50, which will be left outside. Why I am making this double? Because 100C0 plus 100C100, they will become twice of 100C0. 100C1, 100C99, they will become twice of 100C99. So that is why I am writing double. Okay, these are the sum of the first 50 coefficients. Sum of first 50 coefficients. These are the sum of the first 50 coefficients. Okay, and this sum is equals to 0. Is that clear to everyone? Just say yes or no. Are you all able to understand? Hi Surya. So are you all able to understand how I have done this? So let us assume this sum to be S, and I am writing here 2S will be this 100C50 I am taking to the left hand side. It will be negative times 100C50, and this 100C50 can be simplified as 100 upon 50. It can be written as 100 upon 50, then 100 minus 1, it will be 99, and 50 minus 1, it will be 49. So 100 upon 50, 99C49 is equals to 2S. Now what I'll observe, 100 upon 50 will be 2. This 2 and this 2 is getting cancelled. So we got the value of S as negative times 99C49. So negative times 99C49 will be the final answer. So Surya, are you able to understand what exactly will be the answer of this question? It will not be minus 100C50 over 2. Okay, why are you writing over 2? Just you are taking inside it. Alright, so I hope you all are able to understand. See, this expansion consists of 101 terms. So inside this parenthesis there are 50 terms. 50 into 2 it will become 100, and 100 plus 1 it will become 101. So the total number of terms are 101 in this expansion. Okay, and this is the process of actually manipulating these 101 terms and to get the sum of first 50 coefficients. Okay, so Jagadish Gaming 3D once tells her. So do you want me to repeat? Okay, okay Praveen, thank you so much for posting the questions. We will discuss those questions, don't worry. Okay, Jagdish, please tell me in the comment section, do you want me to repeat the process for attempting this question? Are you able to understand this or not? Just say yes or no. Okay, so if you want Jagdish that I should repeat this illustration, so I'll be repeating it for you. In this particular, we need to find the sum of the first 50 coefficients in the expansion. So what we need to do, here is expansion 1 minus x raised to the power 100. This 1 minus x raised to the power 100 will be written as 100c0, 100c1 x, 100c2 x square up till 100c 100 x raised to the power 100. Okay, now I need to get the sum of all coefficients. So basically what I'll do, I'll put the value of x as 1. So as soon as we put the value of x as 1, I'll have the sum of all the coefficients which is equals to 0. Now I'm actually, sir, I'll require 15 to 20 minutes, okay. So in this particular process, what we will do, some of the terms are positive, some of the terms are negative. But I can see that this first coefficient is matching up with the last one. The second coefficient is matching up with the second last. The third coefficient is matching up with the third last. So up till first to 50 coefficients, they will be in the start first to 50 and in the end first to 50, they will become twice. They will become twice, okay, because first from the beginning and first from the end is same. Second from the beginning, second from the end is same. Third from the beginning, third from the end is same. So that is why I've done the twice of it. And there is one coefficient that is left, 100C50, which lies in the middle. So that is occurring only one time, 100C50. So this is the required sum of the first 50 coefficients. I am assuming this sum to be S. 2S will be equals to negative times this, and I got the value of S as negative times 99C49. Okay, so this is the final answer. This is given to us, I don't know in which option, A, B, C, D, you can check accordingly. So this is the final answer, minus 99C49. Okay, I hope you are able to understand, Jagdish. Sir, we can do by the binomial coefficients property. This is the binomial coefficient property only we have applied over here. Okay, which property do you want to apply? In this way only this question will be done. Okay, no other process according to me. But since you are brilliant brains, you can find another process also. Now let us deal with another question. If I talk about the another question, what we need to do here, here it is given in the question that 1 upon n plus 1 into NCN, then it will be 1 upon n, then it is NCN minus 1, alright, then it will be continuously, it will be equals to half, and then it is NC1, and then we have NC0 with us, and this is equals to 1023 over 10. We need to find the value of n in this case. Are you all able to understand this? Just say yes or no. Are you all able to understand this question? So basically this is a series given to us which is equals to 1023 upon 10, and we need to get the value of n. So whenever we have 1 upon n plus 1, 1 upon n, we have n in the denominator over here. So whenever we have n in the denominator, so the concept of integration will be used every time, okay. So basically let us deal with the expansion first of all. The expansion is 1 plus x raised to the power n. So 1 plus x raised to the power n will be NC0, then it will be NC1 into x, then it will be NC2 into x square, then it will be NC3 into x cube, and it will keep on going up till NCN. I hope you are able to understand this. Now I want to integrate both the sides. So here also I am applying the integration 0 to 1, and here also to every term I am applying the integration from 0 to 1. Now what is the advantage of doing this? So in the left hand side, the integration will be 1 plus x raised to the power n plus 1 whole divided by n plus 1, and the limits will be from 0 to 1. And in the right hand side, if I try to integrate this NC0 is a constant, integration of 1 will be x, and the limits are from 0 to 1. Then it will be NC1 x square by 2, then the limits are 0 to 1. Then it will be NC2 limits x cube over 3, then the limits are 0 to 1. And the last one is NCN x raised to the power n plus 1 over n plus 1, and the limits are 0 to 1. I hope you are able to understand this. Okay, it is 255 upon 8. All right. So Praveen, yes, we can either consider 255 over 8 also. Okay, so we will get different value of n for that. Okay. So actually these are the memory based questions. These are not the exact question, Praveen. So there can be difference in the values. Okay. Now let us try to get the solution of this question. Let us put the value of x as 1 first of all. It will become 2 raised to the power n plus 1 whole divided by n plus 1. And then let us put the value 0. So it will become 1 raised to the power n plus 1, which is 1 itself. Then here let us put the value of x as 1. It is nc0. Then here let us put the value of x as 1. It is nc1 1 by 2. Then here it will be nc2 1 by 3. Then here keep on doing it, ncn 1 upon n plus 1. So this is the same sequence which is given in the question in the left hand side. Can you observe the question? So in the question also you can observe this is the same sequence that we have got here. Now this sequence is given to us according to Praveen. If I take this 255 upon 8, let us assume. So I want to write 2 raised to the power n plus 1 minus 1 upon n plus 1 will be equals to 255 over 8. Let us assume this. So 255 can be written as 256 minus 1. Okay. And this 8 can be written as 7 plus 1. So this 2 raised to the power 56, what it can be written? So we can assume that n plus 1 is 8 and it is 2 raised to the power 8, which is clearly mentioned over here. So if n plus 1 is 8, so the value of n will be 7 in this situation. Okay. So you can compare with 1023 upon 10 also, because 1023 can be written as 1024 minus 1. In that case, n plus 1 will be 10 and n will be equals to 9. So it depends on the question. If this is the right hand side, then n will be 9, and if this is the right hand side, then n will be 7. I hope you all are able to understand the process that I have used here to actually get the value of n. So Manasvi is saying, sir, I didn't get it. Yes, Manasvi, I'll be helping you out, don't worry. So Manasvi, there is a sequence in a orange color that is being given to you as 1023 upon 10 or 255 upon 8, whatever it be in the right hand side. And we need to find the value of n. Okay. So in this sequence, what we observe, I have considered 1 plus x raised to the power n expansion, binomial expansion. There are n plus 1 terms in this expansion. Then I integrated both the sides. And the limits that I applied to this integration is 0 to 1. Then if I try to integrate 0 to 1, I'll observe the same series as that given in the question. Just integrate it and put the limits. You'll observe the same series that is being given in the question. And in the right hand side, it is 1023 upon 10. So here this particular expression will be equated to 1023 upon 10, or according to Praveen, it was 255 upon 8. So I have just equated this particular thing to 255 upon 8. 255 can be written as 256 minus 1. So n plus 1 will be 8 and n equals to 7. So in this way, I'll be able to get the value of n. So guys, are you all able to understand how we got the solution of this question? Just say yes or no. Just say yes or no. If you are able to understand, then I'll be picking up with the next question. I'll pick up with the next question. Okay, thank you so much, Bacha Party. Now we are moving ahead to the next question. There was a question from vectors. There are 3 vectors given to you. Okay, the first vector was ai, then j, and then k. The second vector was I, then it is bj, and then it is ck. The third vector was I, then j, then it is not ck, it will be only k. And the third vector was I plus j plus ck. Now these 3 vectors are coplanar. This is the condition given in the question. These 3 vectors are coplanar vectors. Then we need to find the value of, find 1 upon 1 minus a plus 1 upon 1 minus b plus 1 upon 1 minus c. So this value we need to determine. So this was a question from the vectors. Now whenever we have the coplanar vectors, in that case the determinant value of the coefficients of I, j, k will become 0. So here if I take the determinant value of a1, 1, and if I take 1, b, 1, and if I take 1, 1, c, that will become 0. Now if you apply the row operations to create 1 minus a, 1 minus b, 1 minus c and expand it, then you will be able to get the answer. but I have the shortcut for these type of questions. Okay, for this question I have the shortcut. So what is the shortcut over here? The shortcut is, let us apply the operation C1 tends to C1 plus C2 plus C3. If I apply this operation, so it will be A plus 2, then it will be B plus 2. I am giving you a shortcut, and then it will be C plus 2. Here I am keeping the column number 2, column number 3 as it is. Now I am assuming that this is a shortcut, not a regular process. This is not a regular process, this is a shortcut that I am doing. So for making this determinant 0, the first trick is that the column 1 can be 0 entirely. Because here we can see column 2 is not 0, column 3 is not 0. So the very first way of making this determinant 0 is to make the column 1 0. So column 1 can be 0 in a case when A is equals to -2, B is equals to -2 and C is equals to -2. So this is one of the values of ABC where we can get this determinant 0. There can be many more values for ABC for which this determinant is 0. But I am using the short trick, so I am assuming the value of A as -2, B as -2 and C as -2 will make this determinant 0. So I'll keep the value of A as -2, B as -2 and C as -2. So A, B, C all together -2 if I place over here, then here I will have 1/3, here I will have 1/3, here I will have 1/3. In total it will become 3/3, which is equals to 1. Is this clear to you? Just say yes or no. Just say yes or no. If this is clear to you, then we can go ahead. All right. So the answer to this question will be 1. Answer to this question. So whatever be the options given to you, I don't know at which position, which option 1 is given, but the answer will be 1, definitely 1. So are you all able to understand how I have done this solution? All right. Now we are moving ahead to the next solution, next question. Okay. There was an integration question, okay, in which I need to integrate from -0.15 to plus 0.15, and the function was given in the modulus 100x square minus 1 dx. Okay, so this was a function given to you. So minus 0.15 to plus 0.15, 100x square minus 1 inside the modulus, and we need to integrate with respect to x. So how to actually do this question? So basically what we need to do here, there was a property, if you remember, minus a say a, minus a to a fx dx will become twice of 0 to a fx dx, and this property can be applied if fx is even function. Do you remember that? So this property can be applied if fx is even function, and if fx is odd function, then this result will become 0. So here we can easily observe that fx is even function. So I am writing twice of 0 to a, twice of 0 to a, 100 of x square minus 1, and this is dx. I hope this is also clear to you. Now what we need to do, we need to separate out the intervals. Okay, so in this particular case, we observe that the quantity inside the modulus, if it is greater than 0, so for which x it will become greater than 0. So for x square greater than 1 upon 100. Okay, so in this particular situation, we can say that for x greater than 1 upon 10, for x greater than 1 upon 10, this quantity will be greater than 0, or 1 upon 100 it is. Okay, so it is 1 upon 10, that is 0.1. That is 0.1. Okay, this is 0.1. So basically, if x is greater than 1 upon 10, that is 0.1, then this quantity is positive. So that means from 0 to 0.1, and from 0.1 to 0.15, we need to break the interval. So from 0.1 to 0.15, this will be taken as positive, and from 0 to 0.1, this needs to be taken as negative. So it will be 1 minus 100x square. It will be 1 minus 100x square. Are you able to understand how to deal with the question which involves the modulus? Now this was a concept that we need to apply here, and we will be integrating it. So integration of this result is very easy. Integration of 1 is x, integration of 100x square will be 100x cube over 3. Here also 100x cube over 3 minus integration of 1 will be x. And we just need to put the limit 0 to 0.1 and 0.1 to 0.15. If this is clear to you, then we can go ahead. So can we go ahead for the next question? Are you all able to understand this? Just say yes or no. If you all are able to understand this, then only I'll be moving ahead for the next question. Just say yes or no. Okay. So here we go to the next question. I have another question with me. This question was from the topic matrices. Okay, can I start with the next question? I'm waiting for your response. Okay. So we are moving ahead to the next question, and next question is from the topic matrix. And I can see that a very lengthy question has been asked from the topic matrix. Okay, I'm just picking one question of the topic matrix. Just a minute. Yes, I'm writing the question. So there was a matrix A. Okay, so they told us there is a matrix A, and this matrix A consists of 4 elements. 1, it will be 1 over 51, and then it is 0, and then it is 1. So this is a matrix A, and if B matrix is equals to 1, 2, minus 1, minus 1. So this is B matrix is equals to product of this matrix multiplied by this matrix, minus 1, minus 2, and here it is 1, 1. All right. Okay. Then find summation of n is equals to 1 to n is equals to 50 b raised to the power n. So basically find the summation of n is equals to 1 to n is equals to 50 b raised to the power n. सर परसेंटाइल क्या एक्सेप्ट की जा सकती है, एक्सपेक्ट की जा सकती है? अगर किसी की 99.9 आती है ना, तो मतलब उसका 200 प्लस का स्कोर होना चाहिए. ऑल राइट, सो पेपर तो मुश्किल था. यस, ऑल राइट. सो हाउ टू डील विद दिस प्रॉब्लम? A is a matrix, B is this matrix, and we need to find the sum of B plus B square plus B raised to the power 3 up till B raised to the power 50. Now, how to deal with this problem? Let me tell you first of all. So here, if I assume this matrix to be P matrix, so this matrix is given to us as P inverse. You can easily check that the product of these two matrices will be identity matrix. So they are inverse of each other. Okay, so this is P, this is P inverse. That means B matrix is P A P inverse. Okay, if I need to get B square, so B square is B into B. That means P A P inverse, then P A P inverse. Then what will happen? P into P inverse will become identity matrix, and A into A will become A square. So it will become P A square P inverse, and here we have B square matrix. Okay, so this is the concept that we need to apply. Now if I want to evaluate, similarly, if I want to evaluate B cube, so B cube will be P A cube P inverse, and if I want to evaluate B raised to the power 50, it will be P A raised to the power 50 P inverse. Is this clear to you? How we have got B raised to the power 1 to B raised to the power 50. Okay. Yes, 50 आंसर आएगा क्या? 50 यहाँ पे तो मैट्रिक्स आएगी, फिर उन्होंने कुछ सम ऑफ एलिमेंट्स दिया हुआ है तो वो 50 आ सकता है. आई डोंट नो द एग्जैक्ट क्वेश्चन, क्योंकि मेमोरी बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस हैं. मैं तो आपको ये मैट्रिक्स निकालना सिखा दूंगा. तो इस मैट्रिक्स में शायद से उन्होंने ये पूछा है, दे हैव आस्क्ड इन द क्वेश्चन टू फाइंड द सम ऑफ द मैट्रिक्स दैट इज बीइंग ऑब्टेन्ड हियर. ओके, सो आफ्टर दिस स्टेप you can just find the sum of the elements. So how to proceed with this question now? So basically they are asking you to find the summation of B raised to the power n, and in this summation of B raised to the power n is, if they are just asking to get you the value of B raised to the power 50, that is also easy. अगर केवल B raised to the power 50 पूछ रहे हैं ना आपसे, तो भी बहुत आसान होगा. कैसे? क्योंकि फिर आपको P A raised to the power 50 और P inverse, बस इनकी वैल्यू निकालनी होगी. लेकिन अगर आपको सम निकालना है तो थोड़ा सा और कॉम्प्लिकेट हो गया. देखो कैसे. So they are asking you to get the value of S, where s is b, then b square, then b raised to the power 50. ये आपसे sum मांग रहे हैं. Okay. Now what you will do, you will multiply b to both sides. As you will multiply b to both sides, here it will become bs, and here if I multiply b, it will become b square. Then it will become b raised to the power 50, and it will become b raised to the power 51. All right. Now let us subtract both of these. So it is s minus bs, and then here it is b minus 0. These are terms which are getting cancelled. It is 0 minus b raised to the power 51. I hope this is also clear to you. Now can I take this s common? It will be I minus b. It will be I minus b. And here we have b minus b raised to the power 51. Now b raised to the power 51 is very easy. How? It will be p a raised to the power 51 into p inverse. I hope this is also clear to you. And if you take a raised to the power 51, it will become 1, 1, 0, 1. Because a square is 1, 2 by 51, 0, 1. So b raised to the a raised to the power 51 is very easy now. Okay, I'll help you what to do here. So this will be p matrix is 1, 2, minus 1, minus 1. A raised to the power 51 is 1, 1, 0, 1. The product is very simple to do. And p inverse is minus 1, minus 2, 1, 1. Will you be able to calculate this value? All right. And will you be able to calculate this value, b value? B value is the product of these three matrices, keeping this A matrix over here. Once you calculate B, once you calculate this product, calculation part you will be able to do. And this value I minus B, identity matrix minus B matrix, needs to be taken to the right hand side. So if you are taking the things to the right hand side, so let us assume this right hand side which is present here is Q. So this Q is multiplied with I minus B whole inverse. So first of all you will calculate I minus B. I minus B is 2 cross 2, and then you will take the inverse of it, that is 1 upon determinant A adjoint of A. So you will be multiplying this Q with I minus B inverse to get S. Once you get this S matrix, they are asking you to get the sum of all the elements. So basically this question require more than 6 minutes to get the final answer. And yes, it was conceptually easy question. Conceptually ऐसा नहीं है बहुत tough concept लग रहा है इसमें, conceptually easy question, लेकिन time ज़्यादा लग रहा है. The time that is required to complete this question is more. क्योंकि देखो यहाँ पे आपको इसको पहले तीनों को मल्टीप्लाई करना होगा, b निकालने के लिए भी तीनों को मल्टीप्लाई करना होगा, फिर सबट्रैक्ट करना होगा, q आएगा और q को इनके इन्वर्स से मल्टीप्लाई करना होगा. तो देखो बहुत ज़्यादा मेहनत होने वाली है, लेकिन ये मेहनत जो है, जो कैलकुलेशन है उसमें कम है. ठीक है, तो मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है कि यू विल बी requiring 6 to 7 minutes to complete this question. Is that clear to you? Can we go ahead for the next question? Just say yes or no. Just say yes or no. All right, I am searching for the next question that I have got for you. All right. Yeah. So one question I have got for you from the topic differential equation. डायरेक्टली P और P इनवर्स मल्टीप्लाई कर दो, नहीं ऐसा नहीं होता कभी भी. P पहले A से मल्टीप्लाई है और जो रिजल्ट आएगा वो P इनवर्स है. ऐसा नहीं कर सकते, वी कैन नॉट डू इन दिस वे. ओके, नहीं 2 मिनट में ऐसे नहीं होगा. P और P इनवर्स ऐसे मल्टीप्लाई नहीं कर सकते, वी कैन नॉट डू दिस. आपको पता है ना, जैसे मान लो A B C अगर ऐसे मल्टीप्लाई में चल रहे हैं तो ऐसा नहीं कर सकते हो आप AC इंटू B, दे विल नॉट बी इक्वल, ये इक्वल नहीं होंगे. ओके, सो यू कैन नॉट डू इन दिस वे. आप C को पहले नहीं ला सकते हो, ये प्रोसेस तो सेम रहेगा. ऐसा जरूर हो सकता है कि आप AB आपने ये लिख दिया, ठीक है, आप BC को पहले मल्टीप्लाई कर दो फिर उसको A के साथ कर दो, लेकिन उनकी पोजीशन चेंज नहीं कर पाओगे. ऑल राइट, सो आई एम डूइंग वन मोर क्वेश्चन फ्रॉम द टॉपिक डिफरेंशियल इक्वेशन नाउ. सर 5 मिनट्स वेट हो जाएगा. ओके, सो डिफरेंशियल इक्वेशन वी हैव अ क्वेश्चन 1 प्लस एक्स स्क्वायर, देन वी हैव dy is equals to y times x minus y, and then we have dx. So this is a question from the differential equation and we need to get the solution of this. So basically how we need to proceed with the solution of this question. Okay, so guys, first of all I will write the value for dy over dx. and that is yx over 1 plus x square. I'm just taking this 1 plus x square to the right hand side, and it is y square over 1 plus x square. I hope this is also clear to you. Now I'm dividing the entire equation by y square. So it will be 1 upon y square dy by dx. Then it will be minus 1 upon y x upon 1 plus x square. I'm dividing the entire equation by y square. Then it will be equals to 1 upon 1 plus x square. So this is a Bernoulli form that is being created. So do you know what we need to do here? We just need to assume this 1 upon y as t. Because if I assume this 1 upon y with a negative sign as t, then its differentiation will be what? Its differentiation will be 1 upon y square dy by dx. Okay, or we can also write 1 upon y square dy by dx is equals to dt by dx. So this 1 upon y square dy by dx is already written in front of us. This 1 upon y with a negative sign is already written in front of us. So this given equation will be converted to dt over dx. Then it is minus x upon 1 plus x square times t, and then it is 1 upon 1 plus x square. So basically I have converted the given differential equation into the linear differential equation. Guys, are you all able to understand? So this was a question from the linear differential equation, that is a convertible to linear differential equation. Once we have converted the given equation to the linear differential equation, then it will be very easy for us to actually first of all get the value of the integrating factor, and once we get the integrating factor, then we can easily find the solution of the linear differential equation. So may I help you to get that integrating factor? It will be e raised to the power integration of I think it will be plus. Okay, so e raised to the power integration of x upon 1 plus x square dx. So if I assume this t, it will be dt over 2, so it will be e raised to the power half of log t. Alright, so this will be root over 1 plus x square. So this is the integrating factor that we have obtained here, and once we have got the integrating factor, then the solution will be y into integrating factor is equals to integration of q into integrating factor plus c. So q is this function is known as q. Alright, so I'll write q into integrating factor plus c, and then I'll integrate. That's it. So in this way we will be able to complete the solution, and I would ask now Nitin sir, he would be discussing few of the chemistry questions that we have got till now, and then we'll be coming back. Okay, so overall analysis is the paper level was very tough, particularly of the math section. I can say many of the questions were highly conceptual, highly calculative, and majority of the students who has not prepared well, who has not done the preparation of the JEE Advanced, they would definitely get stuck in some of the questions. But my take is always start with those questions which are easy. Okay, so even if the paper is tough, there are about 6 to 7 questions always in the paper which are very easy. So start with these questions first of all, so that you can get a score of between 40 to 50 marks in the first 20 or 30 minutes of the time. All right, while attempting the math section. So thank you so much, sir, for the paper.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for discussing the maths questions. Now I'm here with some chemistry questions, guys. So how was your chemistry paper? Did someone in the live audience took this paper? क्या यहाँ पे कोई ऐसा है जिसने पेपर ये लिखा है? So how did you guys find the chemistry section? So chemistry section as always is easy, right? इस वाले पेपर में भी जो chemistry question थे वो ज़्यादा difficult नहीं थे, है ना? तो कुछ question चलो डिस्कस कर लेते हैं. जैसे कि एक question था the bond order and magnetic property. The bond order and magnetic property of acetylide ion, right? Acetylide, ये ion दिया हुआ था guys. Acetylide ion is similar to, ठीक है, ये बताना है जो acetylide ion है उसका bond order, right? उस ion में bond order and उसका जो magnetic property है वो किसके similar है? जो options हमें given थे they were N2 plus, then NO plus, all right, then O2 plus and फाइनली O2 माइनस, ठीक है। तो ये बताओ इसका करेक्ट आंसर कौन सा होगा गाइस, ये बताओ इसका करेक्ट आंसर कौन सा होगा। सो एसिटाइलाइड, यू गाइस नो एसिटाइलाइड क्या चीज होती है, एसिटाइलाइड क्या चीज होती है, कोई मुझे बताएगा जल्दी से, एसिटाइलाइड क्या चीज होती है। इट इज द अनायन, डाई अनायन ऑफ एसिटिलीन, है ना, ये सब लोगों को पता है ना। एसिटिलीन क्या चीज होती है, एसिटिलीन इज दिस, राइट। एसिटिलीन क्या चीज होती है, ये एसिटिलीन है, दिस इज योर एसिटिलीन गैस, राइट। सो इफ यू रिमूव बोथ द हाइड्रोजन एज H प्लस, इफ यू रिमूव बोथ द हाइड्रोजन एज H प्लस, then what do you get, you get this, right? What do you get, you get this. So I'm writing the lone pair because of which both carbons have negative charge. I hope ये सब लोगों को समझ में आ गया होगा, है ना। So acetylene है, you have a triple bond between two carbon atoms, right? What is the bond order, what is the bond order, we write it as BO. ये कितना हो गया guys, 3. bond order हमारा कितना हो गया guys, ये हमारा 3 हो गया। एंड इसका मैग्नेटिक प्रॉपर्टी कोई मुझे बताएगा, डायामैग्नेटिक होगा, पैरामैग्नेटिक होगा। विल somebody tell me in the chat section guys, chat section is cold, nobody is answering, tell me इसका क्या आंसर होगा। bond order 3 हो गया, that I have told you, it's clearly visible, you can see there is a triple bond between the two carbon atoms. Now you tell me what is the magnetic nature, is it diamagnetic or paramagnetic, कैसा होगा magnetic nature जो है guys, इसका कैसा होगा। do you see any unpaired electron, do you see any unpaired electron or all electrons are paired up। so you can see there is no unpaired electron, right, there you have 3 bonding electron pairs and there you have 2 lone pairs, right, because of which there is no unpaired electron and hence the magnetic nature will be diamagnetic। कैसा होगा guys, ये diamagnetic nature हो जाएगा। is that clear, है ना। और फिर इसमें से कौन सा करेक्ट आंसर होगा, yes yes very good, thank you for answering सूर्य विकास, it will be diamagnetic। अब ये बताओ इसमें से कौन सा करेक्ट आंसर होगा। so there is a simple trick, let me tell you, if the diatomic ion contains, if the diatomic species contains 14 electrons, its bond order is 3, right। yes Janardhan, the question is written here, right, can you see the question is written here, right। तो इसमें hello निखिल, welcome to the session, how are you। so यहाँ पे बताओ गाइस कौन सा करेक्ट आंसर होगा। लेट मी टेल यू मॉलिक्यूलर ऑर्बिटल थ्योरी का शॉर्टकट कि इफ योर डायटोमिक मॉलिक्यूल हैज 14 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स then its bond order will be 3, then its bond order will be 3, right। if you add or remove one electron then the bond order decreases by half, remember 14 electrons means bond order is 3, if you add or remove one electron from the species then bond order decreases by half, okay। तो जैसे नाइट्रोजन प्लस में कितने इलेक्ट्रॉन्स हैं, 7 into 2 14 minus 1 13 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स, तो ये तो नहीं होगा, ठीक है, ये तो नहीं होगा। लेट अस सी सेकंड ऑप्शन, नाइट्रोजन 7, ऑक्सीजन 8, 7 8 15 and plus मतलब -1 electron, so 14 electrons, yes, so 14 electrons are there, yes very good निखिल, 14 electrons are there in NO plus, ठीक है, नाइट्रोसोनियम कटायन, and of course even number of electrons है, 14 electrons है, it will not be paramagnetic, ये कैसा हो जाएगा, डायमैग्नेटिक हो जाएगा, ठीक है, राइट, ये कैसा हो जाएगा, डायमैग्नेटिक। तो ये हमारा करेक्ट आंसर हो गया। बाकी इसमें 16 - 1 15 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स हो जाएंगे, तो बॉन्ड ऑर्डर विल बी 2.5 एंड O2 माइनस में 16 + 1 17 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स हो जाएंगे, तो बॉन्ड ऑर्डर विल बी 1.5, ठीक है। So these kind of question, those who have not yet written your JEE paper, let me tell you here that these kind of questions are very common from molecular orbital theory, ठीक है। molecular orbital theory से ये वाले question बहुत ही common होते हैं guys, ठीक है। तो this was I would say like on a moderate side type of question, right। if you are familiar with the molecular orbital theory and you know what is acid halide, then you would be able to answer this question, right। तो एक क्वेश्चन हमारे पास ये था, then there was one question from hydrogen, again very easy question, very easy question, मैचिंग करनी है गाइज, मैचिंग करनी है। सो इलेक्ट्रॉन डेफिशिएंट हाइड्राइड, राइट, इलेक्ट्रॉन प्रेसाइज हाइड्राइड, इलेक्ट्रॉन रिच हाइड्राइड एंड सेलाइन हाइड्राइड, ओके। सो आई विल कॉल देम एज A B C D, राइट, एंड इधर 1 2 3 4 ये मैच करना है आप लोगों को, दिस यू हैव टू मैच MgH2, this was one option, then CH4, a very easy concept from hydrogen chapter, right, very easy concept from hydrogen chapter, है ना। तो ये हाइड्रोजन चैप्टर से बहुत ही इजी कॉन्सेप्ट है हमारा, इलेक्ट्रॉन डेफिशिएंट हाइड्राइड, इलेक्ट्रॉन प्रिसाइज हाइड्राइड, इलेक्ट्रॉन रिच हाइड्राइड, सेलाइन हाइड्राइड, और ये बताओ मैच करना है कौन सा किससे मैच होगा। सो हाइड्रोजन चैप्टर इफ यू आर स्टडीइंग गाइज, लेट मी टेल यू, hydrogen peroxide, it is one topic that you have to do in the beginning, right, hydrogen peroxide, then hardness of water, and then hydrides, what are the types of hydrides, their examples, right। So let me tell you, electron deficient, electron precise, electron rich, these type of hydrides are formed by group 15 elements, sorry p block elements, right? ये कौन से हमारे बनाते हैं? p block elements, है ना? जो इलेक्ट्रॉन डेफिशिएंट, इलेक्ट्रॉन प्रेसाइज एंड इलेक्ट्रॉन रिच, ये हमारे कौन से हाइड्राइड, ये हाइड्राइड्स कौन से एलिमेंट्स बनाते हैं? p block elements, ठीक है? अब p block elements में ग्रुप 13 बनाता है इलेक्ट्रॉन डेफिशिएंट, है ना? ग्रुप 13 बनाते हैं इलेक्ट्रॉन डेफिशिएंट, व्हाई? बिकॉज इट कैन ओनली फॉर्म 3 बॉन्ड्स, इट कैन ओनली फॉर्म 3 बॉन्ड्स। इलेक्ट्रॉन प्रेसाइज बनाता है ग्रुप 14, इलेक्ट्रॉन प्रेसाइज हाइड्राइड्स बनाता है ग्रुप 14, एंड ग्रुप 15, 16 एंड 17 वो बनाते हैं इलेक्ट्रॉन रिच, ठीक है? वो बनाते हैं इलेक्ट्रॉन रिच। तो नाउ विल समबडी टेल मी इसका करेक्ट आंसर कौन सा होगा? तो निखिल ने बोला ए विल मैच विद 3, बी विल मैच विद 2 एंड सी विल मैच विद 4 and D will match with 1. Yes, very good, congratulations निखिल, very good, correct answer, ठीक है? तो ये वाले क्वेश्चन भी पूछ लेते हैं। Let me tell you, please study more about this, ठीक है? B2H6 diborane and study more about the magnesium hydride, beryllium hydride, lithium hydride, because they have covalent nature and they're also polymeric in nature, right? So yes, electron deficient मतलब less than 8 valence electrons, electron deficient मतलब less than 8 valence electrons. तो ऑफ कोर्स B2H6 में हमारे लेस देन 8 वैलेंस इलेक्ट्रॉन होता है, बिकॉज इट इज अ डाइमर ऑफ BH3, ठीक है? इट इज अ डाइमर ऑफ BH3. सो यस, ए जो है हमारा दैट मैचेस विद 3. ए किसके साथ मैच कर गया? 3 के साथ. इलेक्ट्रॉन प्रेसाइज मतलब neither they have vacant orbitals in their valence shell nor they have lone pairs. So of course that is methane. So I told you group 14 elements जो है वो हमारे क्या बनाते हैं? इलेक्ट्रॉन प्रेसाइज हाइड्राइड्स, ठीक है? तो CH4 मीथेन, SiH4 सिलेन, लाइक दैट, ठीक है? तो B जो है हमारा इलेक्ट्रॉन प्रेसाइज वो 2 के साथ मैच कर गया, तो A3 एंड B हमारे किसके साथ मैच कर गया गाइस? 2 के साथ, ठीक है? इलेक्ट्रॉन रिच मतलब लोन पेयर्स, इलेक्ट्रॉन रिच मतलब दे हैव एक्सेस ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन्स व्हिच दे कैन शेयर विद अदर मॉलिक्यूल्स. सो ऑफ कोर्स HF, फ्लोरीन हैज 3 लोन पेयर्स, फ्लोरीन हैज 3 लोन पेयर्स, सो C विल मैच विद 4. C किसके साथ मैच कर जाएगा? 4 के साथ, ठीक है? एंड फाइनली सेलाइन, right, salt like saline, you know, ionic hydrides, these are formed by S block elements, these are formed by S block elements group 1 and group 2, ठीक है? तो सेलाइन हमारा हो जाएगा 1 के साथ, तो D will match with 1, right? तो प्लीज हाइड्रोजन चैप्टर में हार्डनेस ऑफ वाटर, हाइड्रोजन पेरोक्साइड एंड द नेचर ऑफ हाइड्राइड्स, these 3 टॉपिक्स डू नॉट स्किप, राइट? तो काफी इंपॉर्टेंट है. एक क्वेश्चन हमारा था कि एन एनालिस्ट, राइट, एन एनालिस्ट wants to convert 1 liter of HCl solution जिसका pH is given to be 1 to a solution of pH 2, right? To a solution of pH 2. The question is, what is the volume of water to be added? The question is, what is the volume of H2O that should be added? ये बताओ गाइस, बहुत ही सिंपल क्वेश्चन है बेस्ड ऑन द मोलारिटी इक्वेशन, बहुत ही सिंपल क्वेश्चन है बेस्ड ऑन द मोलारिटी इक्वेशन. ये बताओ इसका कौन सा करेक्ट आंसर होगा? आर यू टेलिंग मी द वॉल्यूम ऑफ वाटर, दारगुला? आर यू टेलिंग मी द वॉल्यूम ऑफ वाटर दैट हैज टू बी एडेड? आई एम नॉट गिविंग यू चॉइसेस. So there is a solution 1 liter, its volume, what is the pH? 1, pH is 1. You want to convert it to a solution which is having pH 2. Now what is the volume of water that should be added? So somebody is saying 10 liter, somebody is saying 9 liter. Survika said yes sir, M1V1 is equal to M2V2. Yes, yes, okay. So now whose answer is correct? Whose answer is correct? Tell me guys, किसका आंसर करेक्ट है? तुम्हें क्या लगता है किसका आंसर जो है वो करेक्ट है? इतने में और क्वेश्चन देखता हूं. 9 लीटर शुड बी एडेड. सो सूर्य विकास सेड 9 लीटर जो है वो हमें ऐड करना होगा. यस यस यस, वेरी गुड, दैट इज द करेक्ट आंसर. यस यस. सो दिस इज वन कॉमन मिस्टेक दैट यू नो इन हरी we tend to make, right? Students tend to make these errors, so please be more careful about it, right? Be more careful about it. Is that clear, right? Is that clear? So what will happen? pH 1, so let me tell you, if your pH is X, then your hydrogen ion concentration is 10 raised to the power minus X. This is clear to everyone, right? Yes, yes. So mine may be okay. So if pH is X, then hydrogen ion concentration is 10 raised to the power minus X. So here hydrogen ion concentration is 10 raised to the power minus 1 molar, all right? And here the hydrogen ion concentration is 10 raised to the power minus 2 molar. Now simple, it's a case of dilution. So M1 V1 is equal to M2 V2. Initial molarity is 0.1, volume is 1 liter, final molarity is 0.01 and volume is V2. So of course the final volume should be 10 liter. Now initial volume is 1 liter, final volume is 10 liter, water added is of course 9 liter, okay, right? So water how much kitna add karna padega hame? Yes, 9 liters. So this was a simple question based on ionic equilibrium, the pH and the dilution formula, molarity, right? तो आई होप ये सब लोगों को समझ में आ गया हो, है ना? तो ये मिस्टेक मत करना, राइट? प्लीज इन द एग्जाम डू नॉट मेक दिस मिस्टेक. V1 V2 आर इनिशियल एंड फाइनल वॉल्यूम्स, दीज आर नॉट द वॉल्यूम्स ऑफ सॉल्वेंट दैट यू शुड ऐड. ठीक है, एक क्वेश्चन हमें सिंपल मिला था डेंसिटी का, है ना? व्हाट इज द डेंसिटी ऑफ एल्कली मेटल्स, ऑर्डर ऑफ डेंसिटी ऑफ एल्कली मेटल्स, राइट? इसमें जो तुम्हें मेटल्स दे रखी थी देवर पोटेशियम, राइट, सोडियम एंड रुबिडियम एंड सीजियम. सो व्हाट वुड बी द ऑर्डर ऑफ डेंसिटी? ये बताओ गाइस, व्हाट वुड बी द ऑर्डर ऑफ डेंसिटी? अब इसमें एक चीज याद रखनी है, देखो नॉर्मली डेंसिटी इंक्रीजेस डाउन द ग्रुप. लेट मी टेल यू गाइस, नॉर्मली डेंसिटी इंक्रीजेस डाउन द ग्रुप, राइट? डेंसिटी जो है इट इंक्रीजेस डाउन द ग्रुप, right? Why is that so? Because as you move down the group in the periodic table, mass increases, volume increases. As you move down the group in the periodic table, mass increases, mass of the atom increases and volume, you know, increases, okay? But increase in mass is more than the increase in volume. So overall density increases, but then as you know, in chemistry there are exceptions. Yes, very good Nikhil. So normally what happens, density should increase, you know, how? Sodium, then potassium, then rubidium, then cesium. But you guys know there is an exception, potassium is less dense than sodium, okay? So minimum density lithium, then sodium, no, then potassium, right? Because there is an exception here, okay? So the correct answer in this case would be potassium, then sodium, then rubidium and then cesium, okay? So this is something that you guys should know, right? Okay, this is something that you guys should know in chemistry, in organic chemistry. You don't have to make much effort, just open NCERT book, right? In S block, in P block, in D and F block, there are some tables in which data is given, lot of data is given: ionization enthalpy, electron gain enthalpy, bond energy, melting point, boiling point, you know, electrode potential. So now you observe those trends, okay, and notice if there is an exception. If there is an exception, please remember that, okay? And if you have the explanation, then that's very good, okay? Because in inorganic chemistry, these are the things that are commonly asked in the examination, right? These are the things that are generally asked in JEE. So just go to NCERT book. There are data tables, right, in inorganic chemistry. Notice those data, and if there is an exception, remember it, okay? Because JEE Main particularly, they ask these exceptions very, very frequently. So this was one example. Normally density increases down the group, okay? Normally density increases across the period as well as down the group. But if there is an exception, you must remember it, okay? So like here, the correct answer is this. So I hope this is understood to everyone. I hope this is understood to everyone. Okay, we have physics sir, Anuruddha sir waiting with us, some more question, but let me finish. I have got one or two, right? So there are complexes given: Cu NH3 6 2 plus, right? Its value is minus 0.6 delta O. I'm not sure if this question is how much correct, but I'll just tell you the logic behind this, right? Because we have seen this question before also, right? So minus 2.0, then Fe CN6 3 minus 1.2 delta O, and Ni F6 4 minus, its value is given to be minus 0.4 delta O, okay? So obviously those who have been present in our, you know, live solution, you guys would have noticed that there was one question in one of the earlier shifts, right? And I solved that question here, right, in the live session. So similar question is this. I remember one of the student asking me, sir, what is a short trick for this question? Then I said, okay, so how do you calculate CFSE, crystal field stabilization energy? Very simple, minus 0.4 delta O multiplied by number of electrons in T2G orbital and plus 0.6 delta O multiplied by number of electrons in EG orbital. Is that clear? Right? So that is the short trick. Now what you have to do is just see this, okay? So copper NH362 plus, I'll just write the configuration. This is D9, okay? This is D1, iron is 3, so this is D5, all right, and nickel is D8. So just calculate the CFSE, crystal field stabilization energy, and tell me what is the correct answer here, okay? Just tell me what is the correct answer here, guys. 5 minutes, sir, max. इसको कैसे करोगे गाइज? हाउ विल यू डू दिस? जल्दी से इसमें वैल्यू सब्स्टिट्यूट करो, ठीक है? जल्दी से वैल्यू सब्स्टिट्यूट करो, मुझे बताओ कौन सा आंसर इसमें करेक्ट होगा, ठीक है? जल्दी से बताओ मुझको कौन सा आंसर इसमें करेक्ट होगा. Then there was some assertion reason question, guys. I have one, I'll take it up. There were two assertion reason question that I got, and they are actually very easy. So ये बताओ guys, ये सब लोगों ने निकाला, देखो, I'll solve it. So copper has D9 configuration. So remember in D9 and D10 it does not really matter, right? What is the in D9, D8 and D10 it does not matter if the ligand is strong or weak. ठीक है? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Is that clear? Is that clear? Okay, brilliant Surya Vikas. So you were doing the calculation all along. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Anyone else? Nikhil, anyone else? Did you guys try? Anyone else tried? So there are 9 electrons here, 6 electrons in this, so minus 2.4 and 3 electrons in the EG orbital, so 6 into 3, 18. So this is minus 0.6, minus 0.6. So this is minus 0.6 delta O, this is minus 0.6 delta O, okay. Then titanium is just D1, 1 electron goes into T2G orbital, so this is minus 0.4 delta O. If you guys made any mistake, just okay, tell me, alright? If you guys made any mistake, just tell me. So this is D9, so minus 0.6 delta O, and this is D1 configuration because titanium is D2s2, so 1 electron goes into the T2G orbital, so minus 0.4 delta O. Iron is D5 here, right, plus 3 oxidation state. Cyanide is a strong field ligand, guys. Cyanide is a strong field ligand, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So all the 5 electrons, they're going to remain in the T2G orbitals, right? All the 5 electron. So 5 electrons multiplied by 0.4. So minus 2.0. So minus 2.0 delta. So this will match with this. Nickel is D8. Nickel is D8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So how much will it be? Minus 0.4 into 6, minus 2.4 and plus 1.2. So minus 1.2, right? Minus 1.2 delta O. Now see which matches with which one. Okay. So I think you guys made some mistakes, but it's okay. Just be more careful in the calculation. So hexamine copper, it matches with 1, right? A matches with 1, titanium matches with the last one, D. This hexacyanoferrate, it matches with the second choice, and this hexafluoronickelate, it matches with the third choice. Is that clear? Yes, Nikhil, it was easy one. Just you have to be careful with the calculation, right? Because in chemistry, that is a common source of mistakes, right? Then there were some statement type question. I'll quickly just read out to them. Read out to you guys. Boron is extremely hard, indicating its high lattice energy. Is this a statement true? Yes, absolutely it is true. Boron is extremely hard, which means it has high lattice energy. Boron has high melting and boiling point compared to its group members. Yes, absolutely. The melting and boiling point of boron, they are very high, okay, as compared to its congeners, the other members of the group 13 elements, right? So this is given in NCERT book also in the statements, right? General properties. Then there was one question from DNF block element assertion reason. Assertion was 5f electrons can participate in bonding to a greater extent as compared to 4f electrons. Yes, this is correct, right? So as the value of principal quantum number increases, the orbital becomes more and more outward, right? So out of 3D, 4D and 5D, 3D are buried inwards, right? 4D is outwards and 5D orbitals, they are more towards the outside of the atom. So greater the outwardness of an orbital, greater is its ability to participate in bonding. So assertion is true, and reason they had given is 5f orbitals are not as buried as 4f orbitals. Yes, that is correct. Because 5f orbitals are not as buried as 4f orbitals, they can participate in bonding to a greater extent compared to 4f electrons, right? Yes, so these were two question theoretical I had from chemistry. Now I think we have Aniruddha sir with some physics question. I'm sure you guys will be waiting for. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, hi students. तो just a moment, just एक moment मेरे को देना, माइक को थोड़ा सा सेट करना है. हाँ ठीक है. Hi students, welcome. तो मेरे पास और कुछ questions आए हैं. Few more questions we have received, so we'll solve these questions as well. Meanwhile, I think again Akshay sir would be coming in with more maths questions. But let's start with the physics questions that we have received so far. So the first question that we have got is we have a question for potential from bubbles. Okay, so there it has been said that there are 64 bubbles. There are 64 bubbles, with each with potential. The potential of each with a potential of 10 millivolts. The potential of each bubble is 10 millivolts. Now all of these combine into a single bubble. So what is the potential of the bigger bubble? Potential of the combined bubble. You need to find the potential of the combined bubble. Now when all of these bubbles combine, two things are actually adding up. Firstly, their volumes get added up, and that is why the resultant bubble will have a different radii. And also, this is different from your surface tension questions. Also, the charge will get added up. Okay, so first up, let's find with regards to the ratio, with the ratio of the radii. So we know that 4 by 3, let's do it in a different color so that we can be clear of the solution and the question. So 4 by 3 pi into capital R cube, capital R is the radius of the bigger combined bubble, is equal to 4 by 3 into pi into small r cube into 64, because this is the volume of one bubble, into 64 is the volume of all of those bubbles. So over here
15-20 minutes.
15-20 minutes. Okay, so you can cancel out this 4 by 3 pi from either side. So you'll get R is equal to cube root of 64 is 4. So 4 into small r. Okay, so this is going to be the radius of the bigger bubble. Next thing you need is what is the charge. The charge on the bigger bubble is just the sum of all of those charges, which means your capital Q would be 64 into small q. Oh, my bad. Anyway, you guys remember the question, just a wrong switch over there. So we'll do that. R was equal to 4 into small r, that we got, and the charge capital Q would be equal to 64 into small q, because 64 of those bubbles were combining into a bigger bubble. Okay, in this case, let's find the potential for the bigger bubble. The potential for the bigger bubble, capital V, would be equal to Q K into capital Q divided by capital R. So that is equal to 64 into KQ divided by, this capital R was 4R, so 4 into small r. Now this by itself is the potential of every single smaller bubble, which was given to us as equal to 10 millivolts. So over here, firstly this goes with 16, so your V of the bigger bubble, 16 into 10, that is 160 millivolts. That is the answer to it. Okay, Nikhil, you got 16 millivolts, no, it would be 160 because 16 you're getting right away from here, but there's also this 10 millivolt which is the potential of each individual bubble that was given in the question itself. Okay, yeah, Nikhil, it's 160. Okay, okay, next question we have, this is a really nice question. This is a really nice question. Let's try to solve this one. Here they have said, this is a good JEE level question now. The questions are really coming at a good standard now. So there is an ice block, and in the ice block there is an air bubble. The air bubble is at a distance x from one side. Now it is said that when you're looking from this side, then your apparent depth h is h1, and when you look from this side, then your apparent depth is h2. These are apparent depths. The real depth on this side is just x. Okay, where h1 and h2 are provided to us. h1 is equal to 4 centimeter and h2 is equal to 12 centimeter. Besides that, we have also been provided with the width of this 24 centimeters, right? The question has asked us to find this x. So this is not very basic, very easy question. Again, it's not very difficult. It's a good standard level question. So let's see how to solve that. We have to use the formula of real depth by apparent depth is equal to the refractive index. Now the apparent depth have been provided to us. The real depth from this side is what we need to find. So for the first part, when we are looking from, this is side 1, this is side 2. When we are looking from side 1, then my equation would be real depth, which is x, divided by apparent depth, which is 4 centimeter, that is equal to the refractive index n. I think the question either asks you to find x or it asks you to find n. The people who here, if you have access to the questions anywhere, confirm that. We have just got it with regards to the diagrams. I'm not very sure if they have asked for x or n. Anyway, we have two variables. We'll also have two equations. We can find both of them, in fact. So the first is x by 4 is equal to n. That is from this side. Real depth by apparent depth is equal to n. This is for side 1. Now for side 2, the relation is the real depth for it would be 24 minus x, because this part is 24. Okay, so 24 minus x divided by, here it would be h2 is given as 12, is equal to n, right? Let's change things up a bit. This we can write as x by n is equal to 4. The reason I do that is because over here I will be shifting. I will make it 24 by n minus x by n is equal to 12. I brought the n down and sent the 12 on the other side, and then I opened up this part. Okay, so I've written it separately. Now why do I do it separately? Because now I can remove this x, because x by n we already got as 4. So our equation shifts to 24 by n minus x by n is 4 minus 4 is equal to 12, which means my n will be equal to 24 divided by 12 plus 4, 16. So n is equal to 24 divided by 16. So this would be 3, this would be 2 if you cancel with 8. So you'll have 3 by 2, or the refractive index is 1.5. If you have got the refractive index to be 1.5, you can even find what x is going to be. So here we have got n is equal to 1.5. So x is equal to 4 into n. So 4 into 1.5, that is equal to 6 centimeters. Okay, so we have got both n and x. I'm not sure what was asked in the question, but we can solve both of them because we have two equations from which we can work it out. Okay, so I want to see you try this. This was a slightly more dicey question than what you expect, but again, these are the kinds of questions which are the rank. These are the questions that will define your rank, because everything else everyone can answer. If you've really prepared well, then these are the questions you should try to solve, because this is what will give you the edge over all the other competitors. Okay, let's look at another question here. This is just a moment. Okay, this is just a statement type. The first statement says that frequency of AC is okay. If the frequency, I'm writing it in this form, if the frequency is increased in an AC LCR circuit, then the current first increases, then it decreases. Is this a correct statement or not? Tell me in the chat, is this a correct statement or not? Statement 1. And statement 2 is that at resonance your LCR has the power factor equal to 1. Are these two statements correct or not? Let me know in the chat. Yes, Batula, both statements are correct. This statement 1 is correct because we know the frequency response of current is given by the basic resonance curve. Basic resonance curve is, this is the frequency and this is the current. We know it goes like this. It peaks at resonant frequency. At resonant frequency it peaks and then it again starts dropping. So the first statement is a correct statement. The next statement is at resonance LCR has power factor 1. This also is correct because power factor was cos phi. And at resonance we know phi is equal to 0, which means there is no phase difference between the voltage and current. So that is why cos phi is equal to 1. So even this second statement is in fact correct. Okay. Let's look at the next one now. Next question we have is, okay, we have solved assertion reasoning. Okay, here we have a simple question. By the way, this question in some form or the other has been coming in every single shift, which is the de Broglie wavelength. That question is coming in every single shift. So all of you who have not given the exam yet know that you would get a question regarding that. So this tells you to find the ratio of the de Broglie wavelength of proton and alpha particle. They have said that the proton is accelerated through a potential difference of 2 volts and the alpha particle is accelerated through a potential difference of, let's call it potential difference because it's accelerated, potential difference of 4 volts. So you have to find out what is the ratio of that de Broglie wavelength. What do we know? We know that the de Broglie wavelength formula, lambda is equal to h by p. Now this momentum has to be written in some form where I can introduce this accelerating potentials. So I'll write it in terms of the kinetic energy, h divided by root over of 2 mk, and this kinetic energy comes from the potential energy. So you have root over of 2m e into, or rather q into v, the charge of the particle into v. Now look at this. For both proton and alpha, H2, these two are constants, but even the mass will be different, your Q will be different, and even your voltage will be different. So let's put them all in. Just they're inversely proportional. So you would be having M alpha into Q alpha into V alpha divided by MP into QP into VP, and root over on this because it was under a root. Okay. So what do we know? M alpha by MP, alpha particle has 2 protons, 2 neutrons, whereas proton is just 1. So the ratio is 4. This ratio of the masses is 4. Multiplied with what is the ratio of the charges? Alpha particle has +2 charge, proton has +1 charge. So the ratio of their charges is 2 multiplied with the voltage accelerating potential of alpha by accelerating potential of proton. You can see it's 4 by 2. Again, it gives you a factor of 2. 4 by 2 gives you a factor of 2. So you have 4 into 4. So your output is just 4. So lambda p by lambda alpha is 4:1. The proton has higher momentum than the alpha particle. Okay. So I have a few more questions and then Akshay sir will be coming in soon. Just give me a moment. Okay, this is a question from friction and work power energy. Friction and work power energy, it says that you have a 500 kg truck, 500 kg truck, and it is moved through 4 kilometers. It is moved through 4 kilometers, right? And it's moved with a constant speed, and mu, the coefficient of friction, mu is equal to 0.04. Coefficient of friction where it is moved is 0.04. You want, this is a car, so let's make a car, create tires here. So this is the car moving. You want the work done by engine. Now understand, then why does the engine need to do work? The engine, if it's doing work, it's exerting some force, and the force will have to be in the forward direction because downward to the normal reaction is balancing the force of gravity. So the engine gives a force in this direction, engine gives a force in this direction, force of engine, and that has to counteract the frictional force that comes about. So the force given by engine has to be equal to frictional force because it's moving with a constant velocity. Okay, it's moving with a constant speed. That is why these two have to be equal. So we have the force of the engine equal to frictional force. So we can find the work done by engine is equal to, what is the frictional force? It is mu mg. The force of friction is mu mg. So 0.04 into mg, that is 500, into g is 10, into the displacement, because we are finding work. This is the force into the displacement. So we'll put the displacement in here, that is 4 kilometers. So 4 into 10 to the power 3. 4 into 10 to the power 3. Remove this with these zeros over here. You will be having 4 into 5, or rather you can go 4 into 4, 16 into 5, 80 into 10, 800 into 10 to the power 3. So 800 kilojoule. That is the answer to this question. Okay. Okay, we have one more question here. We have one more question that we need to discuss. This one says, just give me a moment. Yeah, here we have a, okay, this is a question that we need to discuss here, which is again a very basic question if you are able to break it down. In this question, they have said that there are 3 forces. One is force F2, that is equal to 6 newtons. Second is force F3, that is 8 newtons. And the other one is F1, which is not provided to us. They are acting on a mass of 5 kg. They have asked you that what is the acceleration of the system if you remove the F1. Okay. Now students will waste their time over here, because what they would do is that they would cancel this F1. They'll first try to find this F1, then try to figure out what will happen next. But you don't need to do that. If you are removing this F1, then it's simply the force is just the resultant of F2 and F3. That's all there is. It's just the resultant of F2 and F3, and the angle between them has been provided as 90 degree, which means you can get the resultant force F net is equal to root over of 6 square plus 8 square, that is equal to root 36 plus 64, which is equal to root 100. So the net force is just 10 newtons in this direction. Okay, net force is 10 newtons. You want to find the acceleration. So acceleration is force by mass. that is 10 by 5. So you have 2 meters per second square. Okay. So that is the answer to this. Very simple, very direct. Nothing much to bother over here. Okay. By the way, these questions we are bringing to you from the team of Sri Chaitanya. So just for the efforts and everything that the entire team, even the students who provide these questions to us, they come out, and even though their exam is done, I think it's a very noble thing for those students to do, that they want to help all the other students after them. So they provide the questions. They don't just rush home, they sit back and provide the questions so that their fellow competitors, their fellow students are also helped out. So you can do like the session just to encourage them and to our entire team who's continuously bringing you all of these questions. Okay, so Akshay sir would be coming in now, but meanwhile I have one more assertion reasoning type question. So while Akshay sir comes in, I'll just be discussing that single assertion reasoning type question. I think it's not even assertion. Okay, this is assertion reasoning type. So this question is, it says that the assertion part says that a dipole enclosed by a closed surface, dipole in a closed surface, you have the net flux, as equal to 0. This is the first assertion statement, and the reasoning is given as dipole has equal and opposite charge. Okay, dipole has an equal and opposite charge. So let me know in the comments which one will it be. Are both statements, firstly is assertion and reasoning, correct, and whether the reason is the correct explanation of A. Okay, let me know in the chat. So I'll tell you right off the bat over here, this is also correct statement, this is also a correct statement, and this is in fact the R is the correct explanation of A as well. R is the explanation of A. The reason being, we know that when we are finding the net flux, it deals with the charge enclosed. Since a dipole always has equal and opposite charges, whenever you put that inside any closed surface, the net charge always becomes 0 because the positive and the negative always cancel each other out. Okay? So that is why the net flux becomes equal to 0. So most probably Akshay sir would be coming in here very soon, and he would take over and do the maths questions. These are the physics questions that we have got so far. Do subscribe to the channel. Today evening we won't have a session because there's a B-ARC exam, regular JEE is not there. But tomorrow again we'll be coming in with shift 1 and shift 2. So sir,
so
here
thank
you
you
go.
so much, sir. Students, you might have got the glimpse of the physics question as well as the chemistry questions. Around about 4 or 5 questions we already have discussed at the start of the session from the subject mathematics, and the remaining 4 or 5 questions I'll be discussing it now. So let's start with the questions of the mathematics once again. So there was a question from the topic permutation and combination. Suppose the value of n is greater than 40,000. Value of n is greater than 40,000. N is divisible by 5. N is divisible by 5. Okay, these are the conditions given here. Sorry. Are you all able to hear me now? Thank you for informing. All right. So we are moving ahead. N is divisible by 5. How many 5-digit numbers? How many 5-digit numbers can be formed using the digits? How many 5-digit numbers can be formed using the digits 0, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 without repetition? So this is a question from the permutation and combination, and let us see if how many students in this session are able to solve this question. So basically we need to create a 5-digit number which is greater than 40,000. It should also be divisible by 5. And how many 5-digit numbers can be formed using the digits? These are the 6 digits which are given that we need to use for creating a 5-digit number, and there should not be repetition in that. Okay, so the very first case is can I create a number in the series of 40,000, 41, 42, 43? No, I cannot create it because the digit 4 is not there to use. So let us start with the very first case. In the very first case, we are assuming that the first digit is 5. In the second case, I am assuming that the first digit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, first digit is 7. And in the third case, I am assuming the first digit to be 9. Now, if I assume the first digit to be 5, I only have one case that the last digit should be 0. Why the last digit should be 0? Because the number should be divisible by 5. So to create a number which is divisible by 5, either in the last place we should have 5 or we should have 0. So if I have put this 5 in the first place, so there is only possibility to keep the 0 in the last place. So we already have used 2 of the digits, round about 6 digits we have, out of which 2 we already have used. So this will be filled by 4 ways, this will be filled by 3 ways, this will be filled by 2 ways. So there are 24 ways of creating a number that starts with a digit 5. Now a number of ways of creating a number that starts with a digit 7. So in this particular place you can either put 0 or 5. So this place can be filled by 2 ways, and if we have used 2 digits, so we are left with 4, then 3, then 2. So that will be 24 into 2, that is 48. In the same way here also, this place will be filled by 2 ways. This will be 4, 3, 2, and hence it will also be equals to 48. So if I try to add all these, I will be able to get the result as 120. So the total number of 5-digit numbers that I can create which are divisible by 5 from the digit 0, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 without repetition are 120 in total. So this is very easy question that we have got from the chapter permutation and combination of the grade 11th. I hope if this question would have been asked to you, you might all be able to attempt this question and you might have given the right answer for this solution also. Okay. Now we are moving ahead to the next illustration. Okay. I want to take an illustration from the chapter circle. Okay. So I am writing the question. There are two circles having radius R1 and R2. These are the radius of the two circle. Touches both coordinate axes. That means a circle is touching x-axis also and y-axis also. Now there is a line x plus y is equals to 2, makes intercept 2, now I'll help you out what is intercept to a circle. Makes intercept 2 on both the circle, alright. So find value of R1 square plus R2 square minus R1 R2. Alright. So this is a question from the chapter circles. In this particular question there are two circles given to us which are having the radius R1 and R2. They touches both the coordinate axis. So circle 1 also touches the coordinate axis, circle 2 also touches the coordinate axis, and there is a line x plus y is equals to 2. This line makes an intercept of the length 2 on both the circles. Now find the value of R1 square plus R2 square minus R1 R2. So basically how to deal with this question. So the process to deal with this question is, I'll consider first of all very first circle. This is x-axis, this is y-axis, okay. Now I want to consider a circle which is touching both the coordinate axes, okay. So let us assume this is a circle which is touching both the coordinate axes, okay. So it will have a radius r comma, suppose this is having a radius r. So the center point will become r comma r, because this point is located at a r distance from x-axis also, and this point is located at a r distance from y-axis also. So its center will be r comma r. Now I want to draw a line which is having the equation x plus y is equals to 2. Now this line x plus y is equals to 2 is subtending an intercept of the length 2. That means this portion of the line, which is inside the circle, the portion of the line which is inside the circle is actually the intercept. This line is subtending intercept of the length 2. So the portion of the line which is inside the circle is known as intercept. So this length of AB is given to you as 2 over here. Now what we need to think about, what we are doing here, I'll be joining this, let us see, this is the center C. I'll join this center C with a B point. So this CB will be the radius. I know that, let us drop a perpendicular over here. As I drop the perpendicular, we know that perpendicular from the center bisects the chord. So the total length is 2. So this length will be coming out to be 1. This length to be coming out to be 1. From here, I will be able to get, suppose this is a point, A, B, C, D. Okay, this D is a midpoint. So I want to get the length of CD from this triangle. If I want to get the length of CD from this triangle, I'll apply the Pythagoras theorem. And in Pythagoras theorem, we will write square root of hypotenuse square minus base square. So square root of r square minus 1 will give me the value of CD. Once I have the value of CD, it is also possible to get the value of the CD with the help of distance of a point r comma r, distance of the point r comma r from line x plus y is equals to 2. So there is another possibility of getting the same distance CD by applying a formula, distance of the point from the line. So what is that formula? I'll just put this coordinate of r comma r in the equation of the line. So that will be equals to r plus r minus 2, and this is whole divided by square root of a square plus b square. A is the coefficient of x, b is the coefficient of y. So that will be equals to 1 square plus 1 square. So here we can observe that if I try to simplify it, it will be twice of r minus 1 upon root 2. Okay, so that will be written as root 2 times r minus 1. So the length CD is root 2 times r minus 1, and the length CD is square root of r square minus 1. Now these both lengths should be equated to get the value of r. Once I equate these two lengths, so what will happen? Square root of r square minus 1, if it is equated to root 2 times r minus 1, and I square both the sides, so r square minus 1 is 2 times r square plus 1 minus 2r. Now a quadratic equation has been formed with r square, because 2r square minus r square, it will be r square. Here we have minus 4r with us. Here we have plus 2 plus 1, it will be plus 3, and this is equals to 0. If I try to factorize it, it will be r minus 1, r minus 3. Definitely it will have two roots. One is 1, other one is 3. So we have got the value of r1 and r2 as 1 and 3. And once we have got the value of r1 and r2 as 1 and 3, we will substitute here to get the answer. Suppose r1 is 1 and r2 is 3, because these are the two circles which are satisfying this property, that is the intercept 2 and touching the coordinate axis. These two circles of the radius 1 and 3 are satisfying this condition. So that is why r1 is equals to 1 and r2 is equals to 3. As soon as I put r1 is equals to 1 and r2 is equals to 3, this will be 10 and this is 10 minus 3. 10 minus 3 will be equals to 7. So the answer to this question will be 7. Are you all able to understand how we got the answer of this question? Just put your comments in the comment section, say yes or no. If you are able to understand, then say yes. If you are not able to understand, then say no. Sir, we can do this even by chord concept also. Yes, you can apply the chord concept also, and if you are finding other method easy, then use other method. But according to me, I think that the time of explaining you was little bit high because I was explaining you the concept. But if I have been doing this question by myself, so I won't be writing these much of steps, and in a minimum time, in a minute, like within a minute, I'll be able to get the value of r. So if we are able to solve a question within a minute, that means it is a good concept to apply here. So if you are able to understand this illustration, can we go ahead for the next one? I'm just hiding myself so that you can take the screenshot of the solution, or you can note it down. All right. So I hope you already have written this. Now I also want to discuss one question, and that question was from a locus based question was there. Okay. So let me discuss this question, sir. We can, okay. So let me discuss. I do not know the exact question, but I am making the question by myself. Let a point P, there is a point P given to you with a coordinate alpha comma 7 root 3 comma 3. So let the point P alpha comma 7 root 3 by 3 lies on the curve, traced by the locus of midpoint of the line segment, locus of the midpoint of the line segment between coordinate axis, which has the equation x cos theta plus y sin theta is equals to 1. So this was a question from the topic straight lines, and let us see if you are able to apply the concept in this question or not. So there is a point given to you. This point is lying on the curve traced by the locus of the midpoint of the line segment between the coordinate axis, which has this equation. So basically, if I have the equation of the line, will I be able to get the x-intercept and the y-intercept? Yes. Suppose there is a line which has the equation x cos theta plus y sin theta is equals to p. So if I want to get the x-intercept, I'll put the value of y as 0. So here I will be able to get sec theta comma 0. So this is the x-intercept. Now if I want to get the y-intercept, then I will put the value of x as 0. Then I will have the coordinate 0 comma cosec theta. Now the midpoint of AB is M. And I will be determining the midpoint by the section formula x1 plus x2 over 2 comma y1 plus y2 over 2. So this midpoint is 0 plus sec theta over 2 and 0 plus cosec theta over 2. I hope this is also clear to you. And I want to get the locus of this point. Okay. So I want to get the locus of this point because point P will satisfy the locus of this point. Now how to get the locus of this point? Okay. So if I assume h as sec theta, okay. So for the locus, what we can do? We can assume sec theta by 2, the x coordinate to be x, sec theta by 2. Sec can be written as 1 upon cos. So the value of cos theta will be 1 upon 2x. Now also I can write y coordinate will be cosec theta over 2. So here I can write the value of sin theta as 1 upon 2y. Now if I have the value of cos theta, if I have the value of sin theta, then we know that sin square theta plus cos square theta will be equals to 1. So I got the value of sin theta as 1 upon 2y. I got the value of cos theta as 1 upon 2x, and that is equated to 1. So from here I can write that 1 upon x square plus 1 upon y square is equals to 4. So this is the locus. Now once we have the locus of this midpoint, we know this point P will satisfy this locus. So I'll substitute x as alpha, I'll substitute y as 7 root 3 over 3, and I'll be able to get the value of alpha. So in the question was find the value of alpha. Question was to get the value of alpha. Once we put here x as alpha and y as 7 root 3 over 3, we will be able to get the value of alpha. Guys, are you all able to understand how we got the value of alpha? Just say yes or no. Are you all able to understand how we got the value of alpha? Just say yes or no. I'm waiting for the response. I'm waiting for the response. Just say yes or no. All right. So these are the questions that we have got till now in the mathematics portion, physics portion and chemistry portion, and I hope that you have got the glimpse of the paper. So the level of the paper I can observe is quite high today. We can observe that there are questions that has been asked here was a level up in comparison to the previous shifts. Okay, so what we can do, we just need to start increasing our level of preparation. So we just need to try the previous year questions of the previous last 10 years. That will actually make our concepts more clear, and we'll also have the glimpse of all the concepts that are being asked in the JEE Mains. So please wish everyone all the best who was giving their exam tomorrow. Yes, so it is always from my side and my team also that we all want that you should secure 99.9 percentile at least in your JEE Mains attempt. Okay, so for that reason we wish you luck all the time. We wish you a great amount of blessings. Okay, so may God bless you with good health as well as good percentile, and we'll be meeting soon in the next live session where we would be discussing the next JEE Mains paper solution with you on the same YouTube channel, Infinity Learn JEE. I would also like to request you that if you haven't liked the video, please like it, and if you haven't subscribed this channel, Infinity Learn JEE, so please subscribe it. It really motivates our team, and our team is really working hard for preparing you for the best. So thank you so much guys for coming live to this session, and I hope you enjoyed this session. So bye bye, take care, have a nice day. I am going to end this session now.